Hi, in this short tutorial I'm going to show you how to insert real lights in Blender geometry nodes. I'm using version 3.5, however this should work back as early as version 3. Let's get started. So this is a bit of a hack. I'm going to be upfront and honest with it right now. You can't actually create lights in geometry nodes. They have to be created here as objects and imported as instances. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really easy. I'm going to use our default cube as our geometry node starting point. I'm going to disconnect it and get rid of it. Now I'm going to go to input, scene, object info, and I'm going to select my light. Now at the moment, if I plug this into my geometry, then nothing happens. I can actually turn off this light. It doesn't need to be present in the scene. However, if I click as instance, it appears down there at 0, 0, 0. Now, so long as I keep it as an instance in my geometry, it will be fine. It will actually produce a light source. If I add a plane here and bring it down a bit bigger, and go to there. As you can see, my light's working. I'm going to click on it again. We can control the light by clicking on its source light, source object, and we can let's make it a spotlight. If I go back to the cube, we've got that as our spotlight. I could, for example, insert a mesh grid, for example, instance on points, use the points from the grid, use this as my instance. Now I have multiple lights. So let's use 5 by 5 and make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Easy as that. And you can move these around. These can be moved around independently, created, and you can do all the things that you normally do with geometry nodes as long as you keep them as instances. And you can join additional geometry without a problem. So if I go and add a cube here, and I go add geometry, join geometry, it's not going to have a problem at all with this. Let's translate that geometry, and it will also even use those lights as a light source. Oops, let's get down. So you see it's actually even bouncing off our cube without a problem. Anyway, that's it. I might put this into a scene next. Might make a flashlight as a demonstration, I think. Before I start my scene, I'd just like to add that you can only have a maximum of 128 lights in Eevee. Otherwise, if you put any more in the scene, they just don't turn on, they don't do anything. Whereas in Cycles, you can have as many as you like, I think. I haven't seen a limit. Anyway, let's get to the scene. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to actually start from scratch because we don't need any of that. So I'm going to go to New. I'm going to get rid of my geometry. I'm going to go down to Mesh, Primitives. Let's do a cylinder. Cone. Let's join them together using a mesh boolean. Union them. So mesh. Let's change that around a bit. I'll make the top radius. Let's make it bottom radius 1. Too wide. Let's make it 2. And I'll move that up a little bit. 4 long. translate the geometry. I'll move that up to, and this is going to be a really simple flashlight. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm going to set the material. I'm going to do another set material for the lens. Create a new material. Here, and I'm going to change the shadow mode so it doesn't actually block anything. I might even put no, I don't want to do that because I'm going to be inside. And let's turn on screen space reflections. Sorry, no, that's not the right one. Let's turn on screen space reflections. My lens. I will set that to the top. I will body smooth. Try. And the top not smooth. No, that doesn't work. Let's just turn that off. Add a few more. Let's give it metallic finish. That'll do nicely. Right. So now if we go back to our lens and I give it an emission, let's bump that up to white. So you can see it's actually doing something, it's blooming with Eevee. So turn off our background. If I turn that off, if I put a target in the scene, let's make it a plane, GZ, make it a lot bigger. Nothing really is happening. I'm not seeing any reflection off that. However, if we now go back to our geometry nodes and I add object info, select the light as an instance, I'm in the right place, we join the geometry, now have a spotlight. So that's actually it's not a spotlight, yeah, no, that's just a point light. So that's using the inside of that as the means. So if we change this to spotlight, and we need to turn it around so it's facing the right direction. See, it's facing straight down. So let us turn that round. And that's almost right. We just need to set it so it's about 65. That'll give us about the right angle. Yeah. And select the cube. Let's move it down a bit. There we go, matched up. So now we have a flashlight. And the nice thing about this is we can go in here and turn the flashlight, and we can quite literally come background scene so we can actually see our camera. Environment texture, open. Moved all the blender textures. Night. There we go. There's our torch. Very simple. But the nice thing is that if we come in here and go here, we can actually duplicate it. And we've got two. Have as many as we want. And that's about the size of it. So I'm going to put this into a nice display, I suppose. I don't know. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.